This video is part of a series of videos intended to give an overview of the forms used by the American Red Cross in our shelter operations. The Unaccompanied Minor and Separated Child Report Form, well, the title of the form says it all. We don't have to use this form very often, which is the good news. But if an unaccompanied minor walks into a shelter or a separated child is discovered, this form will document the steps taken to remedy the situation. First note, Red Cross staffers may never assume custody of a minor. We can investigate, we can protect, we can work with the child, we can care for the child, but we may not assume legal custody. The law is very clear. Only sworn officers may assume custody of a minor. Police, sheriff, or other law enforcement, or an officer of the court, such as a child welfare worker, but not Red Cross staffers. The Red Cross has a memorandum of understanding with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and you are encouraged to find the MOU on the exchange and familiarize yourself with its contents and protocols. If an unaccompanied minor or a separated child comes to a shelter, first, ensure the child's safety and comfort. Second, and as soon as possible, contact your supervisor for guidance and assistance. If you're unable to contact your supervisor, you should immediately call the local police department. This is page 1 of the log form we use to document the events and our actions with regard to an unaccompanied minor or separated child. It's important that you read the whole form at least once before you have to use it to make sure you know the information you will be required to enter. First, at the top is the date, disaster response number, and the name of the shelter telephone number. Make sure you indicate whether this is an unaccompanied minor or a separated child report. Once the child's safety is assured, try to engage him or her for information. Begin obviously with the child's name, and if you can, get his or her date of birth, telephone number, home address, and indicate the gender. All the identifying information you can elicit from the child. Enter it here. Add question marks preceding any detail which you suspect might be incorrect. And here too, be as specific as you can with the location where the child was discovered and the date and time of discovery. The details entered in the description area of the form could very well assist the authorities in locating the child's parents or guardian. All of these items have to do with the child's physical appearance, what he or she is wearing, hair color, eyes, weight, height, and build. When we're caring for a minor, the general rule is this: anytime someone under the age of 18 is without their parent or guardian, 2 Red Cross staffers will be present. So in the box at the bottom of page 1, the 2 Red Cross staffers enter their names and contact numbers. This is page 2 of the form. The top box is where you will fill in the presumed parents or guardian information if you can elicit names and or numbers from the child. Indicate your level of confidence in the accuracy of anything that you fill in here. The next box on page 2 documents your contacts with local law enforcement. Remember, contact your supervisor to decide on a plan. Who will contact National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, who will contact law enforcement, and so on. Record your contacts with police in this box. In the notes section, document details about the conversations and decisions on what steps to take next. The first call made by your supervisor or by you is to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. On their recommendation, or if you can't reach them, the next call is to local law enforcement. These contacts are documented in these 2 boxes. The final box on page 2 documents the transfer of the child from our care to the custody of a sworn officer or officer of the court. And remember that we will not transfer a minor to anyone who is not a sworn officer or officer of the court. Document the names, telephone numbers, and badge numbers of the people to whom we transfer the child. An unaccompanied minor or a separated child is one of the more difficult situations you'll encounter in a shelter. Just remember these important points. The child's safety is priority number one, and reaching out to your supervisor or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children or law enforcement is priority 1A. Finally, document everything using this form.